This is Cody, Cody's Bait and Tackle, Warsaw, Missouri. Going to get a little bit of a catfishing report for Truman here. Did hybrid fish all week long. It was hot, miserable. Fish was extremely hit and miss. They'd be up one day, 7, 8 foot down. You get the boat close to them, they was gone. Just wouldn't stay put. Next day they might be down 20, 25 foot, just wouldn't eat. Few days we did real good. Few days you couldn't hardly make a fish bite. As far as on the hybrids, the white bass have turned on really good. You might have to check 3 or 4 or 5 different humps before you find them, but once you find them, they're on there. I couldn't get my boat right over the top of them to stay on them with a jig and spoon real good. But casting at them with a jig and spoon, rooster tails, vibrix, any of that, you could cast into them, big slab spoons, just about anything. I'd say sliders you could probably tore them up with. Just get the boat off to the side of them, cast into them, try to hit them with side scan, and they'll hit. And some big white bass. I had several 2-pound white bass this week. I was even throwing live shad in them and catching them on live shad. Did catch a few hybrids mixed in with them, but not a lot. As far as crappie, I've heard reports all over the board this week. Most of the people that's been in the shop and I've talked to out on the water and stuff, they said they kind of pushed down towards the bottom. I've heard anywhere from 18 to 22, 23 foot of water right on bottom is where the bigger crappie are on the main lake. I have not heard much of a crappie report up the lake. I do know they're still catching quite a few out around Bucksaw and Berry Bend up in there. The main lake's been pretty dead this week. Only seen 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 boats a day this week. Been pretty empty, pretty slim pickings. Not many people fishing. I did switch over to catfish today since the hybrid slowed down quite a bit. We did really good. We started off early, caught bait before daylight. Didn't really find much of a bite till about 8 o'clock. It was really slow, and once it started getting hot, 8:30, then fish turned on. Same spot I was fishing, I was going over fish. I stuck with them. I was fishing 15 to 22 foot of water. That bite just turned on, and we had 3 limits of blue cat and some channel cat, and I don't know, 3 or 4 slot fish, I think, by 11 o'clock. It was really good bite. Fresh cut shad. I started off using all sides. That's all they wanted. By the time we got off the water, it didn't matter what you threw out there. A side, a chunk, a head. They was eating it, and they was burying the rods. There wasn't even no really having to crank down on them. You just pick it up, and they was there for the most part. So the catfish bite is really good right now. Do have a cold front rolling in. That's probably going to change things again. The last couple of days, what I've seen on the thermocline, it is up and down all over the lake, depends on where you're at. And the fish are hugging right there on the top side of it. I seen some areas this morning it was around 18, 20 foot. Other areas it was all the way down 25 foot, and there was fish right on the edge of it. So it just kind of depends. You got a graph, turn that sensitivity up on your fish finder. You can see that thermocline then. You want to be right above it. Most of the fish I seen, everywhere I caught them, was within 5 foot of that thermocline or right in the edge of it. So that kind of gives you your depth you need to be at. If you're seeing it at 22 foot, you need to probably be 17 to 22 foot deep fishing. That's kind of everything I've seen this week's just been hugging it. So fresh cut shad's going to work the best. Frozen shad, fresh carp buffalo, when it's real hot like this, they work real good. Just chunk them up small. Then fish will eat it. Bluegill, any of that. Anything fresh you can get is really good. That's about all I've got for you guys. I've seen 2 or 3 boats this week trying to walleye fish. They didn't stick around anywhere very long. I'm guessing they probably pushed out deeper, slowed down some too. Have not heard much on them. Get this cold front through, I look for everything to change quite a bit again. Especially if we get any wind with it, then fish will probably push down a little bit deeper again. This morning I did see a lot of fish up on the shallower mud flats, like up where the walleye had been. 8 to 14 foot of water, there was a lot of fish scattered out. Looked like white bass, shad, crappie. Looked like everything was scattered out up there today, where there hadn't been hardly anything. So this heat's definitely kicking in. Water temperature was 90 degrees when we got off the water today, so it's pretty warm. That's about all I've got for you guys. I ain't heard much on Lake of the Ozarks just because not many people are fishing down there. I've heard of a couple flathead coming out down there, few eater blue cat, few big blues further down on Lake of the Ozarks, but that's about it. I appreciate it. Have a good one, y'all. Thanks again.